Hello everyone. Today we're going to be assembling this nice dinosaur here on the right. You can see the box on the left. Again, we're going to be focusing on this number one right here, which is shown on the instruction manual right there. There's three variant blocks, which means there's two other ones. There's number two right there, the instructions with it. And of course, there's going to be number three right there with the instructions with it up top. Obviously, the pieces we have are listed below on the manual. And again, I've done a few other dinosaurs, and they're pretty nice looking ones. But yeah, there's instructions for it. We'll go through it individually as we move forward. Again, there's 54 pieces on this one, so it's not super duper hard. But let's go ahead and get this thing opened and get started on it here. Open up the box. The thing you'll notice is there's only one bag and one set of instructions, which is kind of nice. Open up the bag is a little bit of a challenge, plastic, but I was able to manage getting it open and getting all those pieces set up and ready to start on the project. So now let's go ahead and take a look at step number one and see what pieces we need for that. And it appears there's quite a few different gray pieces and then one yellow piece. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different pieces we need. We've got them all gathered. The hardest part of this step is just going to be putting this together right here. It's not super hard, but you gotta, press, make a decent press on it and get it pressed in good, and then obviously doing the same with this as well. There's obviously different approaches to it as I take a different approach here. And then all you need to do is put that together, and that will be the basis for the legs going forward. Okay, now that we've completed step number one, let's go ahead and turn our focus to step number two and just gather up the pieces. There's going to be 11 pieces, I believe, for step number two. Now, if you remember correctly, there were 7 pieces for step number one, which means that we started with 54. There's now 47 pieces, and then after we gather these 11 pieces, there'll be 36 pieces left to do, which will make it easier for us to gather pieces because there won't be as many to choose from. But yeah, this step is there's a lot of stuff to do here. We're starting off with getting the feet ready for the dinosaur, which we'll assemble. And then, of course, we need to have all the pieces for the head and the tail attachments there. I believe that is the tail. Oh no, we got the wrong. There's the head right there. And then we're just slowly working on each one of the feet one by one. Just a matter of trying to push the block in there just right and make sure you get a tight fit. And yeah, there we've got the dinosaur set up, and that's the end of step number two. Now we can go ahead and start on gathering the pieces for step number three. Obviously the pieces are colored for this step, and then the light gray pieces are the pieces that we've already done. We're gathering the side pieces here. I'm just going to put the side pieces on, and then it shows how you're supposed to attach them there. To the end, not the middle of that, so I'm going to put it on the end of that right there. Not the, well, at first I was playing around the middle. I'm like, nope, got to have it on the end so the dinosaur body looks right. And there's the other piece on right there, so that step is complete. Step number 4 is a bit of a challenge. You got to do one thing at a time. So the first thing you do is just gather the pieces and stuff. Step number 4 is a bit of a challenge in that you got to do some weird setups with the pieces, but it's kind of cool. Again, I'm going to use the setup where I just put those pieces in first. If you can see the top left-hand corner, number 4, it's telling you how to do it, and you're going to see in just a minute how that translates on the actual picture. Get a little bit better lighting here on this one compared to the other videos. So you can see that piece going in right there. And then the top piece, or the back for the tail, start of the tail is there. And then, of course, there's a 3-piece at the head that I missed, but we'll get later. All right, that should wrap up number 4. The biggest mistake I make in piece number 5, or setup number 5, is I put this piece in the wrong spot. Instead of putting it right here, per se, I put it right here underneath, and I don't realize what I did until I get to step number 7, when I have to fix it at that point. Then I have to basically take it out. I won't show the whole thing of me fixing, but you'll notice that this piece gets moved here in step number 7, just so I can have it fixed and working correctly. So now all we need to do is put the eye on right there, and that will complete step number 5. Now let's go ahead and turn our attention to step number 6. Gather up the pieces, of course. 6 of them, I believe. Pretty easy to gather them out of the pile there. And the most tricky part about this is just going to be putting those pieces in place. It's actually not very difficult. It's just you gotta snap them in and get them in all the way. That's the most challenging part, snapping them in without breaking up the dinosaur. But yeah, overall, 6 is one of the fairly easier ones. It'll get easier as we go down to the end there. In step number 7, it was pretty easy, only 2 pieces. I made the mistake of putting the mouth or the head in the wrong place. As you can see, there's no mouth there. I didn't figure it out until I got to the spot where we're putting on the stickers and the decals, but obviously no mouth. There should be a mouth there. Step number 8 is actually very easy. It's a preclude to step number 9, but you're basically building the tail right there. And the most difficult part about this is just pushing these 2 pieces together. Right there, a little bit of snap, and got it. Okay, good. Now we can start on step number 9, and that's basically getting that tail built up a little bit. Got our pieces gathered. And actually, we don't even need to gather them so much because there's not many pieces to choose from there. We just want to make sure we make it look like what it shows on step number 9, and there's the end part there. In step number 10, we basically just have to put the tail together. It's pretty easy because we don't have to gather any pieces. The most difficult spot is going to be just putting on each one of these 4 little pieces there. There's number 2, and 2 down, 2 to go. But yeah, overall it's pretty easy. You don't have to do a lot of piece gathering because you've already eliminated all the other pieces. It's just a matter of getting those pieces on right there and getting it nice and tight. And there we have a tail. Now all we need to do is put it together on the final step there. And this one's nice because it snapped on really easy. It wasn't any bit of a challenge. Obviously I'll have to fix the mouth like I said earlier. Now let's move our attention forward to putting on the decals. Now we're on the final step. That's step number 12, and that's putting on the decals. One minor problem, if you'll notice, I did not have a mouth on mine. I ended up having to adjust that later. But we're going to focus on the decals here. And that's basically the gist of step number 12, is getting those decals on, the spots where they're supposed to be, and so forth. And it takes a little time at first to get started on this. But, once you get into the rhythm of things, it becomes fairly easy to do. Now, one of the nice things about this is in the instruction book, there is a picture with all the decals and stuff. And again, that's where I realized, oh, wait, I got to have a mouth. So maybe I should move this head that away so I have a mouth. But there's a nice picture here. It shows all the decals and stuff and where to go. Obviously, there's going to be a decal in the back that you can't see there. But it's a nice picture. And as always, if you don't want to use what's in the instruction book, you can always use the back or the front of the box, which is nice because it has a nice looking picture as to how the dinosaur should look decal-wise. And, the main thing with these decals is it takes a little bit of time to put it on. You got to try to make sure it sticks in the right spot. You don't want the decals overhanging if you can. So you got to use a little bit of caution and be slow and try to be slow and methodical and get them on there. As it's not just a snap-on piece, you got to make sure it's just right So yeah, try to use a little caution when doing this, just because once it sticks, it's a little harder to get off and slide around. But you it'll look nice once you're done. This is the last one right here on the back side there, or the front. I believe it's it's actually on the front side. And then of course all I have to do is adjust the head, which I'll do later, so it has a mouth. Of course, I eventually realized that. But yeah, here's a look at the dinosaur completed with the mouth in the right spot, of course. And this looks really nice. It's a nice part of the dinosaur collection, which you see in the top left-hand corner of the screen. Yeah, this turned out really nice. Thanks for watching.